introduced Bhadra that a clean kitchen is more important than a nice offering. So he said it's where Radharani does her cooking seva for Krishna. So the kitchen is also a place of bhajan and seva for us as well. Means bhajan meaning to be in devotional moods and meditating that I'm serving her here in this kitchen. This is Radhika's kitchen, he told me, and you should always see that your own kitchen is part of this big kitchen of Radhika. Where? Where does she cook?
Nanda Bhavan.
At Krishna's palace in Nandagaon. So then, when going in the kitchen, we would meditate that we're going to Nandagaon to assist her in the cooking. He said, your Guru Saki is there. That means that Gurudev is there in a form of a Saki in that Seva Stali. Stali means place. In that place of service to Srimati Radhika, he's there as one of her sevaks. Rupa Manjari is putting that part of the kitchen in the care of your Guru Saki, and you are assisting her in Radhika's kitchen. Well, that's a pretty amazing meditation right there, which is under the direction of, so that part of the kitchen is being managed by Guru Saki, who is under the direction of Rupa Manjari, who is under the direction of Radhika. So actually, we can't imagine that we're already doing that or being that. I can't imagine that I'm a Manjari in Radhika's kitchen. But I'm praying that that will come to me, and that I'll realize that. Now we're just doing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti Abbas. Means hardly a semblance of following rules and regulations, but we are just praying that it will turn into that. If we're very careful and meditative and prayerful while we're doing these activities. In fact, Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, what is it? Te sam
Satayuktanam
prajatam priti purvakam Adame Guli Yogam Tam Yenamam Payantite. For those who worship to serving me with love, I give love, Priti Nam, then I will give him the understanding by which he can come to me. So that the prayerful mood, that now I'm nothing, I see nothing, so then I'm praying to our Guru Varga for that moment to come. So the kitchen is Radhika's kitchen, and your cooking is also directly under Radhika's eye, and our own hand will be somewhere in your cooking, because we're just assisting, and she's doing the cooking. You can sometimes see that Radhika herself is cooking. Now we can't imagine anything, because that would be imagination. I'm imagining that I'm something I'm not. And Radhika's here in the kitchen, I've seen her. But because she is cooking for Krishna, that's real, then we can pray that we can see her cooking. Because we're thinking about her being in the kitchen, not by our mental speculation, but by what we read and hear from authoritative books. So like we know how she dresses, because in Gurudev's Love Kusmanjali classes, he describes how she takes off her opulent heavy dress and puts on a very light white dress, takes off her ornaments, and how there are so many stoves, 100 stoves around her, but not stoves like we have here, but they're called, what I forget what they're called, not chulas, chulas, huh? Chulas, like made out of clay. So you're assisting the Sakis who are assisting Radhika, but praying that that will manifest. So there's no sahajism or cheap imitationalism in it. Any bhoga offering that you want to make to Krishna begins in your mind when you are collecting the ingredients for cooking. Right? So it doesn't start with being on the altar and saying the mantras. It starts with, that's if you've also cooked, with collecting the ingredients and then praying that when will I be, of that spiritual nature, in my spiritual form, and be collecting the ingredients. And where would they be collecting the ingredients from?
Trader Joe's, Sprouts,
No, where?
Midtown,
No, not Midtown.
The forest.
In, not the forest.
Oh.
No. In Nandagal.
Oh, right.
Nanda Maharaj has a garden. In the gardens. That's where they get the milk. Because Nanda Baba has
Cows.
900,000 cows. So any bhoga offering that you want to make begins in your mind when you're collecting the ingredients for cooking. Just like we have this gardenia plant outside. So we go there and we pray for, please give me permission to pick you. And then we say the purifying mantra. So everything, and then we bring the flower here, make sure there's no ants on them. And then we make the offering. Eta Pushpa, Srimati Radha Krishna Vyam Svaha, or whoever we're offering it to. Or I'm Gurave Swaha, whoever we're offering it to. So it's a very calculably meditative, mantraized activity. The process from collecting the bhoga to cooking to offering. Then the offering carries on as you do the cooking, and actual offering itself is part of that. The end part is how to respect the prasadam once you have a plate in front of you. So Gurudev said that Krishna never eats anything unless Radhika herself has cooked it. That's why Radhika had a boon from Durvasa Rishi, because she served him so nicely. He gave her a boon that whatever you cook, whoever eats what you cook, you'll be able to defeat all enemies, long life, all good qualities and beauty. So because Mother Yasoda knew that, she sent her messenger to invite Radharani to cook every day. So Vishaka is saying that Gurudev said Krishna never eats anything unless Radha cooked it. This means that when Krishna tastes things and eats them, he's really tasting her love. Like she's meditating how Krishna will enjoy this and that. And she's imagining how Krishna is enjoying the prasadam, but her imagination is not like our imagination. when she's meditating on him, enjoying it while she's cooking, that's actually not different from him thinking like that. So, and then the love with which she's making it for him, for his taste, not with, yeah, I'm over the Krishna and I can't. None of that, but just for Krishna's taste. He's really tasting her love. That means that's his only interest, is in tasting love. And his interest is to taste love in all of its different manifestations and moods. He's actually tasting his own Swarup Shakti, his intrinsic power in the form of Srimati Radhika. And she expands into many different forms to cater to Krishna's tastes. Like all moods of love are in her, but then she separates her moods. Like now, this mood of mine has become this gopi, this mood of mine has become this gopi. So she is the original repository of all those different tastes that Krishna is interested to taste. But for increasing ras, she herself manifests all the different moods of love for Krishna to taste. Even Yasoda's motherly love is coming from her. Like all rasas, all tastes and relationships, humors, are all in Madhurya Ras. And she's the complete embodiment of Madhurya Ras. So the love that Mother Yasoda has for Krishna, when she's, say, serving the prasadam, or doing anything with him, chastising him, that's all coming from Radhika. Because Vatsalya Ras, parental mood, is a part of Madhurya Ras. It's coming from it. In other words, all love comes from Srimati Radhika. Even the tiny pleasure potency in the jivas, again we like to enjoy, even that comes from her. But it's a perverted reflection in this world. Krishna only wants to taste love, and love itself is her. So Krishna only ever tastes her. In Vrindavan, and the Vrindavan there in the spiritual world, that principle is expressed in the fact that he only eats her cooking. The inner meaning is that he only tastes love, but outwardly it appears like eating. Like Gurudev told me once, suppose you give me a fountain pen. So it's not the fountain pen that counts. It's the love that you're giving me the fountain pen with that I'm appreciating. He said, you should never think that you are cooking yourself. You should always think that Srimati Radhika is cooking, and that you are with me means he's her guru, engaged in some way in her kitchen. Radhika is engaging us. She has 100 stoves cooking at the same time, and she's all over the place, in the middle of all the stoves. She moves like lightning from stove to stove.
Wow.
So actually she's doing everything. She's stirring and everything. The manjaris in the kitchen, they get the wood from the fire, they light the fire, they cut the vegetables. She's stirring and everything. And her manjaris are assisting her in little ways by chopping and so on. actually, she's mixing the ingredients and spices and making every preparation. You know, the proportions have to be perfect. You know, anyone who brings me prashadam and then I go, yeah, it's too much salt or too much pepper or whatever. So the Mandris are just expertly moving with her mood, chopping, preparing ingredients, assisting her in various ways. It is Radhika who is overseeing and stirring and actually doing. And our Guru Saki is expertly following her mood. They can read her moods, so they know exactly what to do. And she has hundred stoves, so she's making hundreds of preparations on those stoves. So somehow, by her mercy and the mercy of our Guru Saki, we're also moving in her kitchen. But again, that's a hope. Vishaka called it a hope body. If I really think that I'm at that level, then I'll have a lot of trouble in my life. In the mud, in the temple, the kitchen is treated as carefully as the temple room. No grease or grime on the pots. Like, I'm a 73-pound weakling, and I have to show big mighty men. Like, here's the pot as it is now after you cleaned it, and here I'm just going like this in this one strip, and it's a completely different color. It's the original color of the pot. Prabhupada said if there's one black spot on the outside of the pot's not clean. So everything wants to be sparkling. So they're saying the kitchen in the temple, that's this thing that looks like a material kitchen, is treated as carefully as the temple room. Radhika's place is actually there in the kitchen. It's her workplace, and a kitchen should be given the same respect as the temple room. Like if you run out to the other kitchen barefooted and go out the gate to the other kitchen, and you have your same feet that are walking on the ground out there, that people wear their shoes after going into the streets where the cars are and the cigarettes are and other dirty things. And then you're bringing that feet right back into this kitchen here or the other kitchen. That's like an offense. And Haridas is hurrying up to print that big quote that we're going to be hanging up soon. So the same respect, because Radhika's presence is there in the kitchen, and also it's a really important place for seva for us as aspiring sadhaks. That's true in the temple and true when we have deities in our home. And even if we don't have deities in our home, and we just have pictures, then we want to have the same respect. So, we're doing direct seva by making arrangements for Radhika and Krishna to meet in the form of the prasadam. The prasadam has so many pastimes, like her coming and bowing down to Mother Yasoda, and then Mother Yasoda embracing her and saying, my kitchen is yours, you can do as you like, you have the keys to it, and here's all the ingredients ready for you. So it's an important room, a place of bhajan, a seva stali. And it's also the Manjari's place. they assist here. So it can make us very cautious when walking around. And certainly we don't want to talk nonsense in our kitchen or Gurudev's kitchen. Gurudev, as Gurudev and Gurudev is Guru Saki. So if we're not on that level that we can think like that, then we can think of ourselves as sadhaks serving our Gurudev in his sadhak form. Okay, then now the next section